Hi, this is Jim Alimo, and today we're going to go ahead and cast for a carpal paw brace. This is what it looks like, and what we want to do is we want to make sure when we're casting for this type of brace that we use the right casting tape, and we want to use the appropriate size. For smaller dogs we use just 1-inch casting tape, for larger dogs we use 2-inch casting tape. We want to cast the dog in the right position that we would like the brace made in, the most functional position. We're going to cast from just below the elbow, and we're going to include the entire paw. If there's carpal hyperextension, we want to make sure that we have a little bit of flexion in the brace. We don't want them totally collapsed down. So let's get them casted in the right position that we would like the brace made in. To start off with, we're going to go ahead and use some stockinette, and we'll put that on the dog. And your helper can kind of help hold up the dog's leg. And they can just grab the ends of the stockinette and kind of hold it. And then we want to have the stockinette a little bit long, but make sure it covers the entire paw. Next, we're going to go ahead and attach the surgical tubing. We're going to put that right cranially or towards the front, because we want to make sure that we have something to cut the cast off on. Now we're ready to go ahead and take the cast. We'll use our gloves to make sure that we don't get all sticky fiberglass on us. And then we're going to start. For Cleo, we're going to use 2-inch casting tape. You don't have a lot of working time with this, so when you open it up, it will immediately start to get hard. So we're going to put it in the water for about 10 seconds. Just regular tepid water would be just fine. We're going to leave that in 10 seconds, and then we're going to squeeze it out 3 times to get the water out of it. So now we've got the fiberglass casting tape all ready to go. And we're going to start distally, and then we're going to wrap proximally. We only need about 3 wraps around the leg, so we don't need to wrap it too thick. When we're doing the paw section, let's not squeeze the paw too much. We want to get the shape of the paw, but we don't want to squeeze it too much, then we'll have a misalignment. It's best to put something up underneath the paw, and then we're going to just wrap distally, and we're going to wrap all the way up proximally. About 3 wraps. That's all we need, and it will make that a lot easier to get off. And any excess fiberglass that you have, don't bother using it, just cut off the excess. Now that we have that casted, what we want to do is we want to just massage in the fiberglass casting tape. And delineate that tube. Remember, that tube's going to go towards the front. Now here's an important thing, is you want to make sure that the cast is now situated in the right position, or the corrected position that you would like that brace made in. So this dog has a little bit of valgus, and I'm going to just gently correct it into a more neutral position. Make sure that you have the right flexion and extension in the carpus. And we're just going to wait there and let it get a little bit hard. We're going to make sure that the paw is at as close to as 90 position as possible. We want it to solidify when it's in the position that we want the brace in. So don't have the toes pointed downward. That makes it very problematic as far as making the brace is concerned. Now before it gets too completely, totally hard, we're going to go ahead and take a marker, and we're going to mark exactly where that tube is, and then we're going to put cross hatches on there. This way when we cut off the cast, we'll be able to put it back exactly to where it is when we took it off. So we want to make sure before it gets totally hard that the paw is in the correct position that we're going to make the brace in, and that should be close to 90 degrees. We're ready to take off the cast. We're going to just use a very sharp utility knife, and we're going to cut right along the surgical tubing. Just cut that off, and then we can pull the surgical tubing off, and then we're going to take the scissors, the bandage scissors, and cut off the stockinette. And then we can take the cast off. Now you can see the cast is at a 90 degrees, and that's good. We got the right flexion and extension in the carpal that we want, and we've corrected a little bit of that valgus that we had. So now what we want to do is we want to match up the hash marks to make sure we get it aligned exactly as it was when we took it off. From there, we're going to go ahead and take some tape, or if you have a stapler, you can staple it back together. But we're going to just run some tape around the cast to close it up before it gets totally hard. Just be careful with it, it's still a little bit soft, and within a few minutes it will get hard. So one of the last things we want to do after we take the cast of the dog's leg is to take a tracing of the dog's paw. We're also going to take measurements. Now let me go over that quickly. So when we take the tracing, we want to just put the measurement sheet or a piece of paper up underneath the dog's paw. And just have the dog stand there and just gently with your pen straight up, trace all the way around the paw and just get to the back of the paw. And then what I'd like you to do is put an arrow of the direction of the paw and what side paw that is. So here's a tracing of Cleo's paw, okay? And you send that in and that helps us make the brace. The next thing we want to do is take measurements. The important measurements are the length of the paw, a circumference just at the paw, a circumference at the carpal, and a circumference just below the elbow. So we'll do that quickly. We use millimeters. So we put at the end of the paw, we measure to the front of the paw, and that's 85. And we'll put that at the bottom measurement, and then we're going to take a measurement below the carpus. And then we're going to take a measurement at the carpus. And then we're going to take a measurement just below the elbow with the top of the cast that we took. Those are the measurements that we need as far as circumference and lengths are concerned. The last measurements we need are from the groin to the elbow and from the elbow down to the carpus. Those are the only measurements that we need.